card button right there. So yeah. So first of all, I want to welcome you on this Saturday. It's been a while,
Y-
and it's always fun and exciting to talk to you every time you come to the clinic. And so welcome to this conversation, uh, Miss Peterson. You've been one of the, I would say, yeah, I was gonna almost say, you're one of the oldest patients on our program.
Yes, I agree. I turned 83 in September.
Seriously,
So,
okay, so that is just not too long ago. I think, yeah, one of the reasons we want to kind of welcome you to kind of share your experience is, yeah, as I said, it's no joke. This, day and age, staying healthy through our 60s, 70s, and now we're talking about 80s, not a small undertaking. And despite all your, personal genetic issues and then the chronic health issues that you didn't have any control over, and you still kind of, I think, managed to thrive better. So with that, I'd like to kind of see if you can share a couple of memories or just to give us an idea. You
okay.
have gone through a lot. Maybe give us an idea. You've been a medical professional. Where were you? What was your life like? And then when did you found Numi Health to see if it can help you?
Well, about 6 months ago, I saw the invite on Facebook. And
Mhm.
so I thought it was worth pursuing. My husband and I have been seeing a nutritionist and have been keeping a daily diary for a couple of years now. I'm a stage 4 all ports kidney patient, so I have to watch my potassium and phosphorus very closely. He's a cardiac patient, has to watch his sodium primarily. And I've been cooking relatively healthy meals for us. But uh, joining the program gave me a new insight on the ways I could improve what I was doing. I initially joined because I wanted to lower my hemoglobin A1C. It was at 6. And by the end of the program, I was down to 5.5. So that's a very significant drop for me. Uh, Secondarily, I wanted to lose a little weight. Well, I lost 5 pounds, so that's not too bad. Um, um, my husband, it's a challenge for me because my husband is very much a carnivore, and I'm getting closer and closer to not totally vegan, very high up there. So what I've really gained a lot from the program is especially working with Eva, because she's shown me some alternative proteins, plant proteins that I could use. And I've been incorporating them in our meals, reducing the animal protein and increasing the plant, so that the foods that I am preparing are even healthier for him. And it's really interesting because there's been several recipes I've prepared, and I've told him they're vegan in case he didn't want to try them. But he's a good sport, so he went ahead and tried them, and he actually asked me to make a couple of them again because he liked them that well. So I was very happy with that aspect. We had our 60th wedding anniversary this year, and
Mm.
I went to my 65-year high school reunion. And the thing that it was nice seeing everybody, but the thing that kind of jarred me was seeing so many of my colleagues using walkers and using canes. And I'm thankful that I'm still in the position where I'm walking 2.4 miles each morning with my dogs, staying upright and staying mobile.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's not, I mean, yeah, you just kind of know that was like a rapid fire kind of, for people who are listening to us, might think like, oh my God, that's a lot to digest, because, um, you said, you had outputs, so which is the kidney issue that, like I said, it's a genetic problem, it's a familial stuff. You've been kind of, fighting for about 30, if I'm not wrong, 30, 40 years, right?
Yes.
I mean, most of the clinicians, your primary and your kidney doctors might say, there's nothing much we can do. We just, keep watching um, your potassium and then your phosphorus. And then as the heart patient, and then you needed to watch the sodium as well. There are too many guardrails, too many restrictions and limitations. And then what can you do, right? And then, as you mentioned, yeah, you and your husband, I think you're kind of always, a little bit of a different track. He chose more of a carnivorous, and then you kind of, more of a plant source. But Either way, I think you have your own disciplines to maintain in a good health as much as possible. But A1C of 6, nothing outrageous compared to a lot of other diabetics, but you were able to bring it down to 5.5. That's technically non-diabetic range, not even
Right.
pre-diabetic, right?
Yes.
And you maintain your pressure well, and you're talking about your 5 pound drop, which is, I don't think you needed to, but you said, oh, I love my 120s. Um, that proves the case that, if you have intention, if you have goal, I think you can achieve, right?
Yes.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Um, so why don't you give us an idea? I think you're not when I say the health and the healthcare, not new to you because I know you retired a long time ago, maybe. What was your professional career like, and then how did it help you to kind of understand how our body works and how to kind of bring your health back?
Well, I was an oncology pharmacist for 21 years. And being
Mhm,
in pharmacy, you get involved in knowing more about the human body
mhm.
and the requirements for it. Um, uh, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Right.
Uh,
So that's I mean, the oncology. When you say oncology, it was maybe it was kind of today we have so many drugs and diagnostics and therapeutics, but back in days, I think we don't have these many options. But still, you worked in the cancer field
right.
as a pharmacist. So maybe was it right after and around the retirement time, or maybe before you retired, you diagnosed with a kidney issue?
Oh no, I was diagnosed years ago when my daughter was diagnosed. That's how I found out that
Oh,
I had it.
backwards.
Yes,
I see.
so
Okay,
that was about 30
sounds good.
some years ago.
Okay. And what is it like? I think, you've been understanding and studying, experimenting with the different diets. And what tools on our program or actually the kind of communication you had with myself, my team, dietitian, and monitoring techniques, how do you think they helped you to understand how your body is responding to what kind of diet and
Yeah.
exercise?
Yes, I found as I get more plant-based that
Mm-hmm.
I actually have more energy. And that
Mm-hmm.
might sound contrary, but I actually feel lighter and I feel more active. Sometimes when you eat a really heavy meal, like take example Thanksgiving, you just feel weighed down because everybody eats to excess, and you don't have
Mm-hmm.
that. You don't have that feeling when you're basically primarily plant-based.
Excellent. Perfect, perfect. And maybe you can, I think, for those listening, um, it's hard to because for most of us, the exercise becomes the last thing that I would consider, right?
Right.
If somebody kind of says, I'm in the hospital bed or maybe on the crutches, maybe I'll think about it. But how are you keeping up, all these days and years? What keeps you
Well,
motivated to kind of stay active?
well, what actually started the exercise because I told we hired a personal trainer. I had
Hmm.
fallen 4 times in the year
Hmm.
before we hired him, and I told my husband we need to do something. I ended up with a hairline fracture in my left wrist and an open fracture in my right wrist. I said we need to get some core strength. We need to have balance. So we hired this wonderful gentleman, and he strengthened us in both areas, and we've continued with the exercises. And I can tell a big difference. I have not fallen since, thank the good
Hmm.
Lord, but I don't feel that I'm at a risk of falling either. When I'm doing
I
my
see.
walks, I don't feel that I'm unbalanced. I feel very strong. I feel
Hmm.
very deliberate when I walk, and I attribute that to the training that he gave us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think, like I said, yeah, even though you're kind of the oldest, the patient in our clinic or practice, every time you walk into my office, my room or lobby, like, man, look at me, Miss Peterson. She walks, faster than some of my 20, 30 years in our traditional practice where they're struggling to get out of their chair and then
Yes.
struggling to get in and out of the hallways. But that's phenomenal. I think you have a discipline. I think fall is one of the biggest, risks at this age, right?
Ye-
It can completely derail your quality of life.
Yes.
So you're good. So we talked about the diet and exercise, and then the sleep. I never heard of any complaint, but you did have some issues. How are you doing with your sleep lately?
Very good. Very good. Another thing that I found very interesting
Mm,
was when I started wearing the glucose monitor.
mm-hmm.
And it's wonderful that you can actually track each day, see if you're getting out of bounds. And one of the things that kind of fascinated me is I found out that my blood sugar actually bottoms out several times a day. So I do need to keep an eye on that, make sure it doesn't develop into a problem for me. Although currently I have not had any adverse symptoms with it.
Right, right. And then you learn to kind of understand, how the sensor, the accuracy sometimes is a true or false reading, but still, you maintain pretty, good readings, and we kind of pretty much, backed up. We didn't have anything on the diabetes, even though your A1C came down to 5.5, which is technically not even pre-diabetic. It's actually a normal or non-diabetic range. Are you on any metformin or insulin or any,
No,
right?
no,
Um,
nothing, no diabetic
uh,
meds.
Medications, and then let me see. Yeah, why don't you just take us to your, remember you all had the 60th. It was exciting to have your birthday. Was it 82nd, if I'm not wrong?
That's that.
Your birthday, what was it? Did you just turn 82?
83.
83. You turn 83, and it's exciting to kind of have you celebrate your 60th wedding anniversary,
Yes, sir.
and then the 65th high school reunion.
That's correct.
Um, why don't you take us to that? I think it was kind of very interesting to hear your experience at your 65th high school reunion. So what was it like? How were your peers or friends, and what did you think about you? What did you think about them?
Well, these are people that I grew up with, and over the years we all changed a little bit, get a little wider in the waist, get a little whiter in the hair and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a chance to visit with quite a few of them, and it was nice. Like I said, the most disturbing thing was seeing how many were having to have assistance with actually just walking, and I felt that was kind of a shame that even people younger than me, were in
Mm-hmm.
that type of state. But overall, it was a very, very positive, very fun experience.
Well, I think when you mentioned that, the next week we're actually gonna meet our friends. It's a reunion. I said, like, wait a minute, a 65th high school reunion. How many people are even actually around, even to make it to that event? And then how many people would be out of hospital beds or hospice beds or some kind of assisted living? Um,
Yes.
and then you walk into that, little event or gathering, and then without any cane or anything, you're just gonna walk around like inspecting them. What kind of
Yeah.
shapes are they? How are they doing? How many people are like you?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How many people are like you, very active and functional, independent?
Uh, Maybe, I would say maybe at the most 10% of the people in the room.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So there you go. Again, kudos to your lifestyle choices, because remember, not too long ago you had a fall and a couple of fractures, and then that's when you decided to kind of change. You know what? I need to get my strength back, my balance back.
Mhm.
And otherwise, and yeah, you could just sustain some major fractures or something, compromising your movement and balance. But again, that's the power of the taking control of your lifestyle
Yeah,
choices, right?
absolutely.
Makes
Absolutely.
sense, makes sense already. Well,
And,
okay, so
and
please.
I also want to say how much I appreciate you and the office staff. I always felt very welcomed. Always felt very comfortable. I felt that everybody in the office cared about you when you walked in the door. And that's
Excellent.
something that not all doctors do.
Right. Well, that's definitely good to hear, that's part of our mission and values that we try to kind of carry on, because end of the day, it's not just maintaining your physical health and mental health. We are social beings, and the emotional health is actually integral part of the lifestyle medicine, right? The one of the pillars. So you
Yes.
need to be nurtured. You need to be taken care of. That's part of our DNA, and then definitely that's good to hear. I'm going to convey that to my team, and we are proud of
And,
Eva and Tina as well.
And the other thing that I like is just because the program ended doesn't mean that my association with you and the group has ended, that there will be other mutual activities that I can attend. And I think that's important for reinforcement.
Absolutely. And we're going to be resuming our actually Saturday sessions, that's where actually people share their real time, wins and challenges and what they're struggling with. So we'll talk about different topics as well. So we will invite you to take part and also share your wisdom as well, because we all have something to learn from each other. So there's no question about it, because there's no one cure all, one size fits all solution for challenges we're going through. What else? Why don't we just take a look at and see what are the elements that you think people who are actually listening to us and thinking about this kind of program, whether it's for their weight or blood pressure or in health in general or diabetes for the most part, what are elements and what part of the program you think are actually help you to kind of stay on track and then help others can get their health back?
Well, I think at the beginning it was the initial monitoring to kind of get
Mhm.
you started on the program. But over the long haul, learning some of the better recipes and some of the better ways you can incorporate fresh foods and more plant proteins into the diet, I think that's been actually one of the biggest things, because so many of us walk right by the vegan counter thinking, well, that's not me. Well, you don't have to be a total vegan, but you can certainly improve your health by adopting a number of the products that are available.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and again, the goal is not to kind of turn vegan or complete vegetarian or anything. It's a 80-20 principle. What you do 80% of the times, what matters. And also, yeah, choosing more less processed and more natural stuff is
Yeah.
actually what the fundamental principle. You're actually that, yeah, I can't put it better than how you said it. What else? Let's see. I think there are a lot of people are
I,
inquiring about a program.
I think one of the things that people fail to realize is your body is probably the biggest asset you have. Because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. And so sometimes people are reluctant to join a program. They'll say, well, it's a little expensive. And I say, you know what? It's worth it, because you're learning to take control of your body. You're learning to take control of your life, and your health is going to improve.
That's actually, yeah, you're right. I think you're hitting the one of the key parts of our life. I always say, as you remember, no matter where we live, right? No matter where we live, whether in a million dollar house or the homeless, there's one place that you live 24/7. That is your body. And
Uh,
then if you don't take care of that, if you don't have health in your body, a sound health, physical health and mental health and emotionally strong, it doesn't matter where you are and how rich or poor you are. That's not the kind of life you want to lead. And then on the other side, you're right. I think there's always, this is like investing in your health, because look at people. I mean, we always think, my insurance will take care of certain things. My benefits would take care of, my health and future. But all it takes is one heart attack, one stroke, one dialysis, one amputation, one blindness, one ICU admission to completely derail your health, and not just your finances, but your quality of life will go down. Your
yeah.
productivity will go down. You'll suffer your career and your family and relations.
Yeah.
We have so many patients joining a program, not just because of, for their health, but after witnessing or seeing their parents and their uncles and aunts and even
Yeah.
siblings going through hardships, they said, that's not where I want to end up.
That's
So
exactly true. Yes, absolutely.
absolutely. So it's worth, going through this. And again, everything that you learn in our program, as you saw, it's going to be lifetime. It's just you understand how your body responds to different triggers and then actions, and you continue to improve your health down the road already. Okay, so that's very nice of you for taking your time, and then I think you're sharing your experiences. So I'm gonna let's wrap it up by saying say if you can share a few words of wisdom or maybe some advice to others, or maybe in terms of how this program can help their health if anyone is considering
The
it.
only other thing I would say is, so often people say, well, I'll try it in 6 months, or I'll try it in a few weeks. Don't wait to start improving your health. Start on day one. Get involved in a program that will help you with all of your health issues by learning to eat better, learning what works with your body, what doesn't. We had a nasty habit of delaying, procrastinating. It's probably the national pastime.
I
And
know, right? Yeah,
and I think it's really important to just get started, and it makes the
absolutely.
journey that much easier. Was
Yep.
it the Chinese that said a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, something like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, yeah, we always say it's never too late or never too early to pick up some healthy habits. You're the oldest, and we have the youngest, 10, 11-year-old, on our program. So it's never too late, never too early, because even if you're on the terminally ill, you can still choose to do something different that can actually improve the quality of life, for whatever time left. Having said that, none of these, chronic illnesses actually would take our lives overnight, because our modern technology and medications and procedures will keep us alive, even if we get a heart attack. We have patients who had liver transplant. We have patients who had a kidney transplant. We had patients who had heart transplant on our program as well. So despite all that new organs in the body, still health was not in the plan, the optimized. So they chose to join our program to can actually improve the health back. Having said that, I think you yourself had to go through a major surgery, isn't it? The gastric bypass.
Yes, that was 20 years ago.
20
and
years ago, gastric bypass. Was it a
and
sleeve or a bypass?
and it's working. I've kept the weight off. I weighed 236 pounds at the beginning.
Hmm.
I ended up weighing 127,
So you
and
were half of the weight that you used to.
so I'm very happy. I'm very happy that the program worked for me. I know for some people went back to their old habits and gained a lot of
Right.
weight back regardless. But I said I'm never going there again.
Right. We did have some patients who had gastric bypass. They stopped all their diabetic medications, but they ended up back on insulin and pills. So we were, kind of fortunate enough to kind of help those patients to get their health back as well. So end of the day, it's not a one quick, solution. So you need to look at the holistic, the whole body experience and then your lifestyle. But thank you very much, Ms. Peterson, for your time and sharing. And we wish you the best, and we look forward to kind of seeing you on our upcoming, Saturday sessions, where you can
Okay.
cheer up and then motivate others too.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed visiting with you.
Absolutely. Thank you much. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.